Hey bro, you ever just feel like you can't get your mind right and you're just angry all the time, or maybe you're even lashing out at your family? I just want to show you this really simple process that I use to help clean all that junk out so that you can be a better father and a better husband. Let's go. What's up guys, my name is Anthony Consiglio. I'm a father and a husband, and honestly God has just called me to help men lead their homes. I believe that your home will be its healthiest when you are at your healthiest. I think if we're being honest, mental health really isn't in its best place right now. I think with COVID and different things like that, mental health has really just declined in a lot of ways. I'm seeing more suicides than I've ever seen. I'm seeing more men just give up on their marriages. It's really not in a good place if we're being honest. Today I want to show you just some 3 easy things that I have done over the years to help myself get in a better place mentally so that I can be there for my family and I can be there to serve them with a healthy mind that I have, because the healthier that I am, the more mentally stable I am, emotionally stable I am, the better I can serve them and the more emotionally stable they're gonna be. Personally, I believe everything runs through the Father. What walks through the Father runs in the family. So what's a healthy mind? A healthy mind is somebody who takes control of their thoughts in order to determine how they think, how they feel, and how they act. So point number 1, not everything that you think is necessarily who you are. And so what I mean by that is, like, every thought that crosses your mind does not have to be part of your identity. That may not be a thought that came from you, came from your Father in heaven, or came from really just thin air. It might be something that honestly came from the enemy, I think. And so it's your job to take that thought captive. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians to take your thoughts captive, and that's why it says that. As thoughts enter your mind, you're gonna wanna filter them. You're gonna wanna think, okay, is this a good thought? Yes, I'm gonna put that one over here, and yes, that's who I am. Or is it a bad thought? Like, no, that ain't me. That ain't who my Father says that I am. I'm gonna put that thought over there, and you filter them out and decipher which ones are good and which ones are bad. So now that you understand that you can literally take your thoughts captive, the second point that I want to make is that you can renew your mind. And so now that you understand that every thought that you think isn't necessarily who you are, what you can do is now take that thought captive and renew that mind by replacing it with a new one. So there's this great Christian scientist out there that wrote a book called Switch on Your Brain. Her name's Dr. Caroline Leaf. If you haven't checked her out, highly recommend it. She's awesome. But what she talks about is every thought that you make is a connection point from point A to point B. It's literally an electrical impulse. Well, the more that you think those thoughts, it'll create a groove. And so, like, take lying for instance. If you're a pathological liar, what'll happen is you'll create a groove that will make you more of a liar, and honestly it becomes a very bad habit because you've gone into and you've thought that way for so long. So how do we get out of that? Well, you got to catch it, you got to take it captive, and then replace it. Say, no, like, I'm not going to be a liar anymore. That's not who I am. And then you replace it with a new thought and you tell the truth, right? That's just a very plain example, but it literally comes down to anything that you think. It could be anxiety, it could be negative thoughts, it could be positive thoughts. If you have positive habits, that's awesome. Continue those, continue to filter and create those grooves, because that's what's going to ultimately lead to a healthier mind. So now you understand that you can take your thoughts captive, you can renew your mind. Now it's time to put it into action. So my challenge to you today is to literally start to renew your mind and filter these bad thoughts out. What you can do is, maybe as you're talking to your wife and you feel like you want to respond one way, well, what you can do is capture that and then respond completely a different way, and you'll be surprised. Your wife will actually be caught off guard, because she's going to be so excited that, hey, maybe you didn't get angry, or maybe you didn't belittle her, or maybe you actually spoke life into her. I'm only speaking from experience, just keeping it real. This is something that I have struggled with, and it's only the reason that I can teach you this is because that I have walked through it myself. So today I hope you got a lot out of that video. Check out some of my other videos where you can learn how to be as healthy as you could possibly be.